processes where the only thing, in fact, it's really sad. We have processes and we have leaders leading these processes, and what becomes more important is the appearance, the camera appearance. It's being seen there to be signing something, and that becomes an end in itself. You leave the problem intact, you don't address it. Oh, but you didn't go to Rwanda. Okay, how about the time I went there? What happened? Because there are times I have been in these, in fact, up to a point I got tired of going. We have meetings in Nairobi, I was always present. We have meetings in Rwanda, I was always present. We have, wherever there were meetings to discuss how to end this problem, Rwanda was present. But in the end, even now as we speak, the importance is not ending the problem, the importance is in the process. It's in the appearance to be photographed and you say you were in Rwanda. So if you're not there, but I have discovered that being there and not being there amounts to the same thing. It doesn't address the problem. So we have to find a way of addressing the problems. Not processes becoming an end in themselves. Not the leaders of those processes holding people's hands and doing this being an end in itself. We have to have results built on addressing the root causes. And then another time they say, oh, Rwanda, you see, you have influence on M23. By the way, influence just because some of those guys will speak the same language, so that becomes an influence. Okay, but let's assume we have the influence. And I have been asking these people, so, okay, what do you want me to tell these people? Do you really want me? What do you want me? Give me a message to take to these people over whom I have influence. And as I see, you know, they stop fighting. Okay, that one I can do. But what follows that next? Because if I tell them to stop fighting, and they are attacked and killed, who takes the blame? It's not you who sent me to tell them, it's actually me. Meaning I lured the people into, but then in all conscience, do you also want me to go and tell people that you should accept being denied your rights and keep quiet because some people, some powers are not happy? So maybe that's what they want me to tell these people. I can't. You never. You know, it happened when we met, you must have seen it, when I met President Tshisekedi in New York around General Assembly. And we had with us President of France, President Macron. At that time, they were telling me, please give these people a message, they leave Bunagana. There is a place they had taken over called Bunagana, the border with Uganda. Otherwise, fighting will continue. I said, okay, I can I can even transmit your message just out of politeness. But if I tell them to leave Bunagana and get lost, first of all, where do they go? Secondly, are you going to follow that with addressing their problem they are fighting for? And there was no clear, but anyway, I came back, I sent a message, sent intelligence people to tell them. I said, for the good of the peace process, maybe somebody is thinking about to bring peace, you leave Bunagana as a symbol that you want to have a peace process going on and resolve the problem. As they are about, they agreed with the message I sent to them. In other words, they agreed with me. As they were preparing to leave, they were attacked. There was serious fighting. And then I called up these leaders. I said, but you people, you lied to me. You told me I should transmit a message that these people should leave, and then that will help a process to resolve the problem. Then, little did I know, the intention was actually maybe to attack them when they thought it wasn't going to be the case. So from that time, things have been like that over and over and over and over and over again. These government forces attack. In most cases, they are beaten back. And then there is a loudspeaker everywhere announcing how M23 has been violating ceasefire. You attack, we fight. I push you back, and then I'm the one who violated the ceasefire. This has been what goes on every day. And even with these experts that we have in place, they cannot tell, but that shows it's not that they can't tell what is the truth. It's just that the truth is not what they want. It's not what they like. It's completely different. So Rwanda, while we may be blamed for other people's problems, we are also happy to be blamed for our own problems of trying to defend ourselves, if that is what it means. We will defend ourselves at any cost. There's no question about it. I have told those who are behind all this in a very clear language. They keep asking me the same questions. I keep giving them the same answers. If there is anything that I can compromise on, it has nothing to do with ceding even a millimeter in terms of preserving the security of our country. Absolutely not. So, my friend who asked the question, the answers are obvious, they are known. But in their heads, these other people have their own other way of looking at things. They don't care about us. They don't care about anybody. They care about themselves. If you want to allow yourself to open up to be crushed, you get crushed, and that's not their business. They really facilitate that. So, let me end up the long story here, but it is an accumulation of, I have been silent for a long time. So I thought I needed maybe to go back into a little bit of the history of the problem. But the facts are clear. It's only those who don't want the facts that have other ways of looking at things. All right. Maybe that answers all the questions you had in mind, but we can open up for more questions.
Your Excellency, before we take more questions from the room, we received a question from a journalist called Charles Onyango Obo. He and more, 10,000 more are watching live right now online. And he says, you led the African Union reform process and most of its financing mechanisms. Given the failure of AU diplomacy and security interventions in the Horn of Africa, the fiasco the EAC faced in Eastern DRC, the mixed results of the Luanda process, do you think perhaps AU needs a reform of its political and diplomatic processes? Some have gone as far as calling for the disbanding of the AU's Peace and Security Council and the creation of a new, more effective mechanism. Do you agree? And what reforms, if any, do you think can make change?
Well, on what he said, do I agree? I don't. Because it's not the structure or the form or whatever you have in place that is the problem. It is the people. It's the leaders. It's the people working in those structures and therefore subsequently the countries they come from that are a problem. So how do structures in themselves become a problem? So even if you created another structure, but you have the same people thinking the same way, what are you likely to get out of that? I think Charles must be aware of that. I don't know what really needs to be done. Yes, I was given responsibility by the leaders of our continent to work with others to suggest the reforms that can be made on our continent. I was happy to lead that process. And by the way, I also reached a point, after I had more or less completed the main bulk of what I was supposed to do, I thought we needed maybe to find another person. Because when I was seeing some, I mean, you can hear this. We sit in meetings, leaders, I'm talking leaders, of leaders, presidents, prime ministers and others. We agree something in a room like this. Suggestions that have come from us. We agree. We put something in place. And then, in the end, nothing works. Do you think it's a problem of the process? It's a problem of the structure? What is the problem? I think the answer is obvious. The problem is us. So in fact, when I even wanted to test that, because when it was just going back and forth like this and that, and we agree something, we don't do it, or we do it halfway, and so that is how I decided. And I told the leaders in the room that, you know what, I've been very happy to serve you, but I think it has come to the time we try somebody else. Maybe before you get tired of me, or before I get too frustrated myself, but to serve the cause of reform, I think we can, here in this room, choose somebody else to lead the process, so that we try different people, different angles of dealing with the matter, and that's how the process went to a different person, the president of Kenya, President Ruto. In fact, in the meeting, they even asked me who I think could be. So I gave them my proposition. All was to try and make a point to me that, I was trying to make a point to these people that we have a problem we need to address. And it's not going to be one person here or one structure there. Collectively, we have a problem because we cannot adhere to even things we have suggested ourselves and agreed and put in place and make them work to serve us well. So suggesting to dismantle this and create this, and I don't think gives us any solution. The problem is in us. We need to, if we want things to work, we need to adhere to what we have agreed, what we think is important for our continent, for our people, and so we just have to keep trying with what we have in place. Yes, if there is a need to change something, sure, you can do that, but you still remain with the problem with not doing what you have agreed, irrespective of whatever changes, other changes you put in place. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't see that. We need to find some way. I don't know whether, some magic. Whether we need to be saved, we need to, somehow we have to find some cleansing process where we renew ourselves and we, I don't know, we have to find something. Otherwise, we are really not serving ourselves well. Mm-hmm.
We'll now come back to the room and take more questions.
Yeah.
RFI, and then we can come to Al Jazeera.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Lucie Mouillot, and I'm the journalist for Radio France International. After the postponement of the Head of State Summit in Luanda in December, what is the current state of the Luanda talks, and how does Rwanda perceive the continuation of the negotiation? Thank you.
What the last part, sorry?
How does Rwanda perceive the continuation of the negotiations in the Rwanda talks?
Yeah. For that one, I try to give it a short answer. Much as it lies in the early explanations I was giving. There has to continue an effort to find a solution. If I start backwards, there has to be an effort to continue finding a solution to this problem. But it can't be business as usual. We can't continue the way we have been doing it, putting the importance of the process above the results. I think what we are looking for are the results, not the process. But we need the process to get there. And in the process, therefore, you need to do what is right. So on that note, really the effort has to keep in place, and we have to keep asking ourselves the right questions and finding the right answers. The FDLR question has to be answered. There is no dodging, being dodge about that and circling around the problem endlessly. We have to find a solution. Tied with that, the internal problems of DRC, of persecuting their own people and making it our problem by giving us refugees and by giving us all sorts of names that we are supporting those people fighting for their rights in the DRC, has to find a solution. And the solution lies in internal political process or dialogue that the government can, on one hand, they say they want to talk to this, and then they say, no, we'll never talk to them, they are terrorists, and then, so you even don't get to understand what is really is it that you are dealing with. They say, no, we won't talk to them, but we shall mandate somebody else to talk to them for us. I don't know what that leads to. I can't be blamed for it, really. Do you want a solution or you don't want a solution? That's it. And if you want a solution, then the character of the process and the quality of it explains it. People can see what you are doing and you understand that you actually want a solution. So the meeting did not happen because, again, it wasn't the appearance there that was the most important thing. It was what was taking us there and how it is being addressed that was more important. And before the summit was to take place, there had been technical people meeting, discussing, and ministers meeting, DRC, Rwanda, and Angola. The technical people would agree things, and then it comes to ministers, what the technical people agreed, half of it is rejected. And when I'm saying this, mark you and check. It should really be rejected by DRC, not Rwanda. Even if earlier it was endorsed by technical people from DRC and agreed with our people and the Angolans, it comes to a meeting of ministers, the minister says, no, this one can't happen.